You felt it, haven't you? That sudden, inexplicable ache for a place you've never visited in this lifetime. A flash of recognition in the eyes of a stranger on a crowded street. A skill that feels more like a recovery than a new discovery. You sit in your modern home, surrounded by the hum of technology, yet for a split second, the smell of desert dust or the sound of a distant bronze bell feels more real than the walls around you. What if the timeline you call your life is merely a single sentence in a vast, ancient epic? What if you aren't learning how to live, but simply remembering how you've lived 1,000 times before? Most people walk through this world convinced they are the body they inhabit, the name on their driver's license, the job title on their desk. They believe they are born, they struggle, and they vanish. But you are here because you suspected deeper truth. You are here because the veil of forgetfulness that Dolores Cannon spoke of, that thin, shimmering curtain designed to keep us focused on our current lessons, is starting to fray at the edges for you. Imagine for a moment that your soul is a master actor. Before you stepped onto the stage of the 21st century, you stood in the wings of the great theater. You looked at the costumes of history, the linen robes of a scribe in Alexandria, the heavy furs of a nomad on the steppes, the silk of a courtier in the Forbidden City. You didn't just pick a life, you picked a backdrop. Dolores Cannon, through thousands of hours of QHHTT sessions, recovered a staggering truth. Earth is a school, and civilizations are merely different classrooms. When we look at the ruins of the Maya or the megaliths of Stonehenge, we aren't looking at the work of dead ancestors. We are looking at the playgrounds and temples we built. Your fascination with a specific culture isn't a hobby, it's a resonance. It is the soul recognizing its own handiwork across the gulf of millennia. What if the imagination you've had since childhood, that recurring dream of a great flood, or the inexplicable fear of fire, isn't a fantasy at all? In the Dolores Cannon universe, there is no such thing as a random thought. These are bleed-throughs. They are the echoes of your previous identities trying to communicate through the static of your modern mind. We have been taught that time is a line, a relentless march from the past into the future. But the subconscious, that great library within you, tells a different story. It says that time is a tapestry, and you are the thread woven through every fold. You are the peasant, the king, the healer, and the soldier. You have been the victim and the perpetrator, the student and the master. You have experienced every shade of human emotion so that you could eventually reach this very moment, the moment of awakening. There are memories within you that predate the stars you see tonight. There are choices you made in the life between lives that are governing your current relationships, your health, and your deepest fears. Most will go to their graves never asking why. They will stay trapped in the karmic wheel, repeating the same mistakes, civilization after civilization, because they refuse to look behind the curtain. But you are different. You are starting to hear the whispers from the archives. You are starting to realize that the you see in the mirror is just a temporary mask. Behind those eyes lies a traveler who has seen the rise and fall of Atlantis, who has walked the hidden corridors of the pyramids, and who has waited eons for the Earth to reach this specific point in its evolution. Why are you drawn to this knowledge now? Why is this message reaching you today? Because the school is nearing its graduation ceremony. The civilizations you've inhabited were the training grounds, But this life, this specific, confusing, chaotic moment in history is the final exam. Your soul is trying to tell you something right now. It is trying to remind you of the contract you signed before you were born. It is whispering that you didn't come here to just pay bills and grow old. You came here to bring the wisdom of the ages into the present. So, let us step together into the corridors of the soul's long memory. Let us peel back the layers of linear time and look at the masterpieces you've created across the cycles of history. The dust of forgotten empires is still beneath your feet, and the keys to your future are buried in the memories of who you used to be. Are you listening? Or will you let the veil close once again? Welcome to Awakening Archives. You haven't arrived here by accident. You have arrived by resonance. In a world that often feels heavy with noise and anchored in the material, this space serves as a sanctuary for the seeker, a quiet corridor where we peel back the layers of the mundane to reveal the extraordinary. Our purpose is simple yet profound, to bridge the gap between the ancient wisdom of our ancestors and the quantum consciousness of our future. We are dedicated to decoding the vast, life-altering body of work left to us by the late Dolores Cannon. Through her pioneering technique of QHHT, she opened a doorway into the collective subconscious, allowing us to listen to the soul's own testimony. Here, we don't just discuss history, we explore the lost knowledge of the universe, the mechanics of the new earth, the mystery of the 3 waves of volunteers, and the intricate threads of our past lives that weave together to form the tapestry of who we are today. At Awakening Archives, we believe that the answers you seek are not out there to be learned, but in here to be remembered. We are here to act as a catalyst for your own awakening, providing the insights and transcriptions that trigger that deep, soul-level knowing. If you feel the call to move beyond the veil, if you suspect there is a greater purpose to your presence on earth at this pivotal time, then you have found your tribe. Before we journey deeper into the spiral of ages today, I invite you to join our growing collective. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. By doing so, you ensure that you never miss a transmission from the archives. Together, we are building a library of the soul, one memory, one truth, and one awakening at a time. Let us step into the light of remembrance. By the time this transmission concludes, you will no longer look at your life or the history of this planet through the narrow lens of a single lifetime. We are going to pull back the curtain on the grand design that Dolores Cannon spent 40 years mapping out. You will gain a profound understanding of the karmic script you wrote for yourself before you ever stepped into this physical body. We will uncover why you are specifically drawn to certain ancient cultures, revealing that these are not mere interests, but active files in your soul's computer, waiting to be integrated. More importantly, you will discover the rare indicators that prove you are part of the 3rd wave of volunteers, souls who have come here with no karmic debt, specifically to assist in the Earth's shift into the 5D frequency. If you have ever felt like a stranger in a strange land, or felt a deep, unexplainable urgency to do something without knowing what it is, this video will provide the clarity you've been seeking. You are about to receive the keys to your own archives, allowing you to settle the shadows of the past and step fully into the light of your true eternal purpose. Stay with us. Your remembering starts now. The Earth School and the Great Amnesia. Have you ever wondered why history feels so intimate, yet so distant? You walk through the shadowed stone corridors of an old cathedral, or perhaps you stand atop a windswept mesa in the American Southwest, and a sudden sharp shiver runs down your spine. It isn't just the cold, it is a biological ping, a cellular recognition of a frequency you once inhabited. We are taught to look at the ruins of the world, the crumbling pillars of Rome, the silent weathering face of the Sphinx, or the vine-choked temples of the Maya as the remnants of other peoples. We treat them as museum exhibits, dead and disconnected from our modern lives. But through the thousands of QHHT sessions conducted by Dolores Cannon, a much more startling reality emerges from the deep somnambulistic state. You aren't visiting history, you are revisiting your own footsteps. You aren't studying a foreign culture, you are peering into a mirror that has been covered by the dust of centuries. Dolores often described Earth as a dense school, arguably the most difficult and prestigious campus in the entire universe. The reason it is so notoriously challenging is the veil of forgetfulness. On other planets, in higher dimensions, you remember your lineage. You know exactly who you are, where you came from, and what your purpose is. But on Earth, you agree to a total wipe of your memory. You enter the world as an infant with no conscious recollection of the planning level where you just spent months or even years in Earth time meticulously designing your upcoming life. Think about it. If you knew this was all a stage play, would you truly feel the stakes? If you knew the person who causes you the most grief, the boss who belittles you, or the partner who leaves, was actually your most beloved soul companion who agreed to play the villain specifically to help you learn strength and self-reliance, the lesson would lose its transformative power. We forget so that our choices can be authentic. We forget so that our growth can be forged in the fires of real emotion. We are the actors who have become so immersed in our roles that we believe the theater is the only world that exists. But we are living in a unique window of time. The great school is changing its curriculum. The veil that kept your past lives tucked away in the basement of your subconscious is beginning to fray. It is thinning because the Earth's vibration is rising, and the old secrets can no longer stay hidden in the shadows. The archives are opening not because of a mistake, but because we are finally reaching the end of the semester. We are being allowed to remember because we are finally ready to graduate. The Mechanics of the Soul's Journey. In her seminal works, From Between Death and Life to the expansive Convoluted Universe series, Dolores mapped the unseen laws that govern our return to this physical plane. These aren't philosophical musings, they are the consistent, repetitive testimonies of thousands of subjects who, when placed in the deepest level of trance, speak with the same voice of the subconscious or the higher self, the planning level. Before you took your first breath in this body, you sat with your guides and a council of wise elders. You didn't view your previous lives with shame or judgment, but with the detached curiosity of a master weaver looking at a tapestry. You looked for unbalanced karma, the loops of behavior, the debts of emotion, and the lessons left unlearned. If you were a powerful, callous merchant in 15th century Italy, you might have chosen a life of service or even struggle in the 21st century to understand the equilibrium of compassion. You are the one who wrote your current script. The law of karma. Dolores clarified that karma is not a system of reward and punishment administered by an angry God. It is a law of vibrational equilibrium. It is the soul's innate desire to experience all sides of a coin. If you have a recurring theme in your life, perhaps a struggle with abandonment or a hunger for power, it is likely the echo of a karmic knot you're trying to untie. Simultaneous time. This is the most mind-bending of Dolores's findings. The SC revealed that time is a 3D construct, a tool used only for the school. In reality, all your past lives in Egypt, the French Revolution, or the prehistoric plains are happening right now. Your soul is a vast, multi-dimensional entity that is fragmented across the timeline. You are like a radio that can tune in to different stations. When you remember a life, you aren't looking back. You are simply changing the dial to a different facet of your eternal self. The backdrop people. In her later work, Dolores introduced the concept that not everyone walking the earth is a real soul in the traditional sense. She called them backdrop people, or mannequins. They are biological projections, part of the scenery, designed to make the world feel populated and real for the lead actors, the souls who are here for intense emotional work. This explains why some people seem to have no spiritual spark or curiosity. They are effectively the extras in your movie, allowing you to focus on your specific soul lessons. Recognizing the echoes. How do you know if your archives are opening? The soul does not speak in the languages of man. It speaks in resonance, frequency, and symbol. You don't need a historian to tell you who you were. You need to listen to the bleed-throughs in your current reality. Unexplained phobias and affinities. A paralyzing, irrational fear of fire, water, or sharp objects is often the residual memory of an exit point from a previous incarnation. Dolores found that many chronic pains in the physical body, migraines, backaches, or joint issues, are actually phantom injuries from a past life that haven't been released. Conversely, an innate, unearned talent for music, healing, or leadership is a download of your own mastery from another era. The geographic ping. Have you ever stepped off a plane in a foreign country and felt a sudden, overwhelming sense of home? Or perhaps you feel a deep, unexplainable grief when looking at images of a certain period in history. This is your cellular memory, recognizing the vibration of a land you once tended or a culture you helped build. The different feeling. If you have spent your life feeling like an observer, feeling like you don't belong in this family, this society, or even this era, it is a significant sign. Dolores identified this as the primary marker of a volunteer. It means your soul's primary residence is not with the heavy karmic density of Earth, but with the lighter frequencies of the Source or other star systems. The shadow of Atlantis and the modern mirror. In thousands of sessions, Dolores' subjects spoke of Atlantis with a visceral, haunting clarity. It wasn't a myth, it was a traumatic, collective scar. She found that the scientists and priests of Atlantis are almost all incarnated today. We have reached the exact same level of technological power, and we are being asked the same existential question. Will we use our knowledge for the all, or will we use it for the self? Many of you feel a deep underlying anxiety about the state of modern technology and global stability. This isn't just news fatigue. It is your soul remembering the moment the great crystals were misused. It is your memory of the sky turning dark and the oceans rising. You have returned now to act as stabilizers. You are here to ensure that as the Earth moves through its current shift, we do not repeat the Atlantean catastrophe. The new Earth mitosis. The climax of our journey today is the understanding of the shift. Dolores described the Earth as a living, sentient entity that is currently undergoing a process similar to biological mitosis. It is splitting into two distinct versions of itself. One version of Earth will remain in 3D density. It will continue to be a theater for karma, drama, and intense struggle. The other version, the new Earth, is vibrating at a much higher frequency, moving into the 5D state. This isn't a place you travel to in a spaceship. It is a frequency you tune into with your consciousness. To move into the 5D new Earth, you must lighten your baggage. This is the ultimate purpose of remembering your past lives. You cannot carry the anger of 100 wars or the grief of 1,000 losses into the new frequency. You are being called to look at your history across the civilizations, to forgive every villain you've ever encountered, and to release the old Earth emotions of fear. The new Earth mitosis. The climax of our journey today is the understanding of the shift. Dolores described the Earth as a living, sentient entity that is currently undergoing a process similar to biological mitosis. It is splitting into two distinct versions of itself. One version of Earth will remain in 3D density. It will continue to be a theater for karma, drama, and intense struggle. The other version, the new Earth, is vibrating at a much higher frequency, moving into the 5D state. This isn't a place you travel to in a spaceship. It is a frequency you tune into with your consciousness. To move into the 5D new Earth, you must lighten your baggage. This is the ultimate purpose of remembering your past lives. You cannot carry the anger of 100 wars or the grief of 1,000 losses into the new frequency. You are being called to look at your history across the civilizations, to forgive every villain you've ever encountered, and to release the old Earth emotions of fear. We have looked at the how and the where of your soul's journey, but there is a much bigger why that we haven't touched yet. What if I told you that for many of you watching, the cycle of reincarnation has actually stopped? What if your presence here today has nothing to do with karma and everything to do with a divine rescue mission? In just a moment, we will reveal the most controversial and inspiring secret Dolores Cannon ever uncovered, the truth about why the volunteers are here, and how to know if you are one of them. This is the revelation that changed the course of Dolores Cannon's entire life work. In her later years, as the frequency of the planet began to accelerate, her subjects, those deep in the somnambulistic state, began to deviate from the usual scripts of past life reviews. They stopped talking about balancing old debts from the Middle Ages or resolving conflicts from ancient Rome. Instead, they began to speak with one unified, urgent voice about a new Earth. They spoke of a cosmic event so grand that it had never been attempted in the history of the universe, the evolution of an entire planet from one dimension to another, while still inhabited by physical beings. The climax of our journey today is the staggering realization that you are likely not here for yourself. For decades, we believed the soul's journey was a solitary climb up a ladder of personal karma. But Dolores discovered that the Earth had reached a point of such high density, such profound danger, and such intense spiritual stagnation that the very fabric of the Earth School was at risk of tearing. The call went out across the cosmos, a distress signal heard by souls in other galaxies, other dimensions, and even from the source itself. This is the origin of the 3 waves of volunteers. If you have spent your life feeling like an observer, if you have a deep-seated desire to help humanity, but find yourself perpetually exhausted by its violence, its greed, and its inexplicable cruelty, you are likely part of these waves. You are not here because you are stuck in the cycle of birth and death. You have effectively bypassed the traditional reincarnation cycle. You didn't come here to settle a score from a duel in the French Revolution or to learn a lesson about poverty in the Victorian era. You came from the source, or from star systems where harmony is the only law, taking on a human body for the first time, or returning after an eon of absence, specifically to act as a frequency anchor. Dolores' sessions revealed that the density of Earth is so thick that a soul from a higher dimension cannot simply land here. They must take on the heavy clothing of a human body, and in doing so, they are subjected to the law of amnesia. You forgot your power so that you could blend in. You forgot your origin so that you could truly understand the human experience from the inside out. But the amnesia was never meant to be permanent. It was a temporary mask for a permanent mission. The revelation is this: you are the light that is holding the world together. This is not a metaphor or poetic exaggeration. It is a matter of quantum physics. By simply existing, by maintaining a higher vibration in the face of chaos, and by refusing to succumb to the low-frequency emotions of fear and hatred, you are helping the earth split into 2. Those who wish to stay in the 3D world of lessons, karma, and the hard way of learning will do so. They will continue their cycle on a version of Earth that remains dense. But those who are awakening, those who are integrating their archives, are moving into a 5D frequency. This is the new Earth, where reincarnation as we know it is no longer necessary because the lessons of duality have been mastered. Your past lives across all these civilizations, those flashes of Egypt, those echoes of the temples, those memories of being the healer, the soldier, or the scribe, were your intensive training. You weren't just living those lives, you were studying the human condition. You were learning the emotional language of this planet so that you could be an effective bridge in this final hour. You needed to understand what it felt like to be human so that when the call came to assist in the transition, you would know exactly how to anchor the light into the human collective. The subconscious told Dolores that the eyes of the entire universe are upon us right now. Earth is the showcase of the cosmos. We are watching a world move from the depths of darkness into the heights of light without being destroyed. And you are the boots on the ground for this mission. You are the culmination of thousands of years of preparation. Every trauma you endured, every era you survived, and every heart you mended was a prerequisite for your presence here today. The new Earth is not a destination you find on a map. It is a state of being that you carry in your heart. As you release your old karmic baggage, the resentment toward the backdrop people, the fear of the future, and the guilt of the past, you become lighter. You literally become a vibrational match for the new Earth. This is why the archives are being revealed to you now. It is the final clearance. It is the moment you realize that the school is over, the lessons are learned, and the graduation ceremony has begun. The spiral of ages is ending and a new circle is beginning. You are the bridge. You are the anchor. You are the volunteer. The amnesia is lifting and the memory of your true eternal self is flooding back. You didn't come here to be a victim of history. You came here to be the architect of the future. The archives are open, the secrets are revealed, and the transition is in your hands. You are ready. Have you ever had a regression moment or a dream of another time that felt more like home than today? Perhaps you were drifting off to sleep and suddenly found yourself standing on a balcony overlooking a city of white stone and crystalline towers, or you felt the cold, biting wind of a mountain pass you've never climbed in this life. Dolores Cannon believed these were not mere figments of a wandering imagination. They were intentional gifts from your subconscious, the SC, designed to act as a compass to help you stay on your path. In the Cannon universe, there is no such thing as a random thought. Every flash of déjà vu, every unexplained affinity for a specific historical era, and every recurring dream is a breadcrumb left by your eternal self to lead you back to your true identity. We are living in a time of mass integration, where the walls between our various incarnations are becoming porous. If you are experiencing these bleed-throughs, it is because your soul is trying to remind you of the skills, the strength, or the peace you carried in those other lives. It is a prompt to stop seeing yourself as a limited, struggling human and to start seeing yourself as the seasoned traveler you truly are. These memories are the fuel for your awakening. They are the evidence that you have survived the rise and fall of empires before, and you are more than capable of navigating the shift occurring right now. I want to invite you to step into the role of a memory keeper. Share your memories, your bleed-throughs, or your profound experiences with Dolores Cannon's work in the comments below. Have you ever undergone a QHHT session and discovered a life that explained a lifelong fear or a hidden talent? Have you had a dream of the new earth that felt more real than your waking life? We are a community of volunteers scattered across the globe, often feeling isolated in our knowing. But when you share your story, you create a vibrational ripple. You might be the one who provides the exact trigger word or image that another soul needs to hear to unlock their own amnesia. By sharing, we don't just inform, we help each other wake up. If you can feel the shift happening, if you can sense the very air around you vibrating with the intensity of this planetary transition, like this video. It is a simple act, but it serves as a signal to the collective that you are standing in your light. It tells the universe that you are an active participant in the new earth. And if you feel the resonance of the archives calling to you, subscribe to this channel. This is not just a place for information, it is a frequency of remembrance. By joining Awakening Archives, you are committing to the deeper exploration of your own soul. We are here to navigate the convoluted universe together, moving beyond the dramas of the 3D world and into the clarity of our quantum origins. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a transmission. Every video we release is a key designed to fit into the lock of your subconscious. The door to the archives is wide open, and your seat at the table of remembrance is waiting. Let us continue to peel back the veil, one memory at a time. Your awakening is the most important event in the universe. Treat it with the awe and dedication it deserves. The records of your journey are written in the stars and stored in the depths of your own mind. As Dolores always said, there are no limits except the ones you place on yourself. You are the writer, the director, and the lead actor in this grand cosmic play. Now that you have begun to see the theater for what it is, you are free to step off the stage and into your true power. As you move through the rest of your day, look at the world through the eyes of the archivist. See the patterns, feel the resonances, and hold the frequency of the new earth in every breath. You are a master traveler, a child of the source, and the bridge between the worlds. Stay aware, stay awakened, and remember, the universe is not outside of you. You are the universe. Until we remember again.